Hello, everybody, and welcome to Problem Solver Podcast, where fun, cool, innovative women and men share their stories and their experiences. And some are fabulous, we hope. I'm your girl, Chloe, along with my girl,
Dagmar.
Dagmar is in the house. We're both in the house. Oliver's in the house. All the kitties are in the house. Daggy, before we get started, I want people that don't live in South Florida or that do and leave in May and go back east to understand what it's like to live in a place in the summer. Forget the actual temperature and this humidity, especially when you have pets. What has it been like for you? Because it's been a
I
nightmare
live
for
in
me.
Central Florida. I'm fine.
But it's not as humid there as it is here?
No,
No.
we have a nice wind, a breeze. It's perfect here.
I'm trying to think when I came to visit you and we started the podcast last year, it was in June. It was pretty warm though. It was humid from what I remember. But maybe you like that temperature.
I have no problems with it.
Well, bless you because I do. And I now know why there's this long-standing joke that all the Jews leave by April and go back east because our blood is not meant to be in this humidity. We have a heat wave today. It's 95 and Oliver 10 minutes max. For anyone who's a pet owner, and I'm sure Jeff would say this, master dog trainer at Palm Beach Dog Academy, who we've had on many times, you have to be really careful with your dogs and your cats in extreme heat and making sure that they are hydrated. The last 2 nights, he goes to bed early and he's not waking me up till 7:45, 8 o'clock. This morning, I woke up at 8, like frantic, and he was like, and I'm like, what? And at first I was worried because it's happened 2 days in a row. And then I realized he's fine. It's the heat. The heat is making him exhausted because it's still very warm at night. So when we go to bed, it's like, someone who goes out and drinks, a case of beer and it like just needs to sleep in. That's what he's acting like. So Lovey, what are we?
Shade, trees, bushes.
That's what I do. He
Laying
follows it.
there, and then I have water everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like animals are smart. They find the shade, they find where, the the pavement's not hot and they figure out ways. But anyway, what are we discussing today, Daggy?
You said life hacks would be a great idea to talk through today.
I think it is a great idea. I think that people I don't know if I want to use the word fascinated, but they're very intrigued by people that use I like to call them random life hacks, daily that maybe someone would never think of, or maybe it's sitting in their cabinet right now and they don't know that they can use it for X, Y, and Z. So I think the first one we should start with, because we both use it for a multitude of things, and you go first. What do you use castor oil?
So let me just start with a little story about it, how everything started.
Okay.
2 years ago, out of nowhere, I felt my lymph nodes swelling on. All my lymph nodes were swollen, and I got scared. And then I went to the doctor and they looked at the lab work. The values were a little bit up, but nothing like life-threatening. But I could feel this intense tension in my body, like I was out of this world. And then in the heat and everything, I got hotter and hotter and hotter. So it was really bad. And I worried, like, what is it? And at the end, it came out it was double root canal. So I had a tooth infection, what created it. But during that time, I did a lot of research. And one teacher I found, she suggested to do a lymph drainage and to use castor oil for the lymph drainage. So I started doing lymph drainage several times a day and use castor oil. And it was amazing how this tension in my body and the swelling went less and less and less over time. And I would say after 6 to 8 weeks, it was gone.
Wow.
And then I started using castor oil whenever I felt the swelling or a tension. It's not working for everybody. I have friends and it doesn't work for them. But for me, as soon as I put castor oil on my body, it seems like it influences the inflammation of the body, right? And that takes away my pain, takes away the swelling, and just feels like it helps my body to work better. How is it for you?
Well, it's interesting because what you just mentioned about the inflammation, obviously it's good for, right? And you also turned me on to putting the castor oil on my belly and in my belly button because I'm suffering from a fibroid and a cyst right now. And it'll be a great way to see when I get the next ultrasound if it's been working. So I want to say I started doing it maybe 2 months ago. By the time I have the next one, I think it's like the end of July. That should be an enough time to see if it's helping to bring the swelling down. I also use it and have been using it for years, at least 7 or 8 years now, for something completely separate from inflammation. And that's why it's great to say that castor oil is a really good random life hack because it has multiple uses. I've been putting it on right on my nails, directly on my nail beds. I have been putting it on my hairline here and on my eyelashes. I'm not someone who was born with beautiful long eyelashes that look like they have mascara on, because some people literally have that, men and women. So I've been putting it on the base of my eyelashes for years and like the bottom of my hairline. And that works, like really works. It helps thicken the hair, the growth of it, strengthen it. So I find castor oil to be extremely helpful in what I've used in the past. And I will be curious to see how you mentioned it to see if it works in the future. And we'll definitely update everybody. Another random, this is very random life hack that I have told people over the years is how to get out stains on certain surfaces because people will spill. Sometimes if you don't see it, like let's say red wine or coffee, or maybe there's a marker from a kid on any surface on the counters, on tables, it could be anything from like wood to quartz to marble. And this is not something that people should have around any children. I want to make that very clear. And it's also very potent. But believe it or not, rubbing alcohol takes everything out because it's so strong and the chemicals that are in it, it removes stains for whatever reason. I've been doing it for a long time. I don't really use it for anything else unless I have a cut, which happens with Oliver because I'm constantly with the leash. I'm always cutting my hands these days. You'd think I'm like a woman out at war, but as soon as I have a cut, I have a spray bottle with it, which I mix it with a natural repellent in there from Trader Joe's. That's like a lavender, you know, anti-disinfectant. And I mix that together and then I'll put it on a cut also. So there's something else that I use for multiple uses. So I'm curious from you, like something else that you use daily that you use in multiple sources and ways that helps for different things and not just one.
That I use daily.
Or that you can use, it doesn't have to be every single day, but weekly,
Okay.
and that you use it
Okay.
for multiple.
What I use daily. So since I'm a teenager, I have a hard time with my digestive system. Like it's hardcore. And I have prebiotics and probiotics. And there are good days and bad days. Like if I eat a lot of veggies, for sure, it's easier. But my life hack is papaya. I eat papaya every day. I start with papaya in the morning, first papaya and then my avocado. And for me, and perhaps it doesn't work for everybody, but for me, papaya absolutely stimulates my digestive system and works great. And what I realized when I do this, the whole day gets better. So it seems like the toxins we all have in our body, with the papaya, flushing it out of our body, that just makes us lighter in our brain, less blurry brain, and body-wise, not heavy. And I have more energy. I don't get tired so easily as if I eat pastries or bread or pasta.
Well, we know you have a sweet tooth like me. We love our desserts. Last night, I needed ice cream so bad, and I haven't had it in a while. And I looked outside and the sky was black and I could hear the thunder. And I said, I'm going to run around the corner to Fresh Market. Shout out to Fresh Market. And I said, it's perfect timing. It's 8:45. They close at 9. Oliver can go to the bathroom. It's like perfect. And we ran in there. I got there just in time. And it's called Lewin's ice cream. Van Leeuwen's? Yeah. It's natural. It's great. It's like the least chemicals you could find for an ice cream, right? It's the best thing you're gonna get to like a gelato in Italy. And I really needed it. It's interesting that you mentioned papaya because when I was growing up in Jamaica, for whatever reason, I just don't like the texture of it. But my mom was so adamant in the mornings for my brother and I. We'd have fruit every single morning. We'd have pineapple. So in Jamaica, it's called papa. So papaya is papa. We have to have papa. We have to have mango. We have to have pineapple. And the consistency of it, I didn't really love, but I remember specifically my mom said it's so good for your digestion. So there are so many benefits to papaya, and I understand why that works for you. In the morning, I try not to have coffee the first thing I wake up because it's acidic on your stomach. It's not great. I try to have a hot cup of water with lemon, and I put a little dash of cayenne pepper in there so that it could start the metabolism going. And it's obviously very good to alkalize the system. I don't know if you've ever tried this or if you get car sick. When I was younger, I would get so car sick, and the roads in Jamaica are extremely windy. I'm talking like you're on a roller coaster. And one of our old drivers that we had for years, he said to me, "Look here, come now, come now, Pickney, come. We can show you something." And I'm like, "What is it? What is it?" He took a stick, he put it behind my left ear. I'm not joking, like this. You have to keep the stick here, right behind my hair. The stick does something where it helps your equilibrium and you're not nauseous or you don't feel sick. I would put a stick, he would bring one in the car. When I would land at the airport, he'd have that stick ready for me for years until I got a little bit older. And then I said, I don't need the stick anymore. But it really, really worked. It's a very good old school Jamaican trick. I don't know if it's anyone else does it around the world, but I loved it.
It could be, I'm not familiar where our acupuncture points are in our body, but it could be that there's the point, right? So, and if you influence that, just a thought, if you influence that, then you don't feel nauseated. And that's
Potentially, but
also the lymph nodes go down right
that's
there.
true. Yeah.
So,
Life hacks, they work. What about you? What's something else you swear by?
so I swear by inflammation teas. Ginger and turmeric works wonders for my inflammation. And I can feel when my body has a lot of toxin and is really inflamed, everything swells and gets heavy. Like I can feel it. And then that makes me anxious. And then I have a hard time concentrating. So the first thing in the morning, I drink my inflammation teas with ginger and turmeric, and they're really great. That really became my habit. So that's my key start in the morning. Inflammation teas, papaya, avocado.
That's a very healthy way to start a morning for anybody. You don't drink coffee, right? Yeah. It's interesting because I didn't even start drinking coffee until I was like 28, 30 years old. It's not like I started at 18 because these college kids are drinking coffee. I try to drink mostly Jamaican, Blue Mountain, pure coffee. Someone just brought me some, which was amazing. And I put turmeric in it every morning. After I have the hot water, I put the turmeric in the coffee. Like you, I put turmeric on a lot of things. If I have a yogurt, I put it on. I try to put it on as much as possible. I get fresh ginger from Whole Foods and I peel it myself and I'll boil that as well. So we have similar things that we do that are really healthy that we swear by. But when it comes to life hacks, it could be anything random. Something else which I love to do, I don't know about you, but I refuse to spend any money that I don't have on facials. And I have a friend, I'm not going to name any names, who gets a facial like every 2 weeks and she is spending big money. Whether it's like a coffee facial or they call it the vampire facial where they take blood from different parts and put it in your face. And oh yeah, there are some facials are $300 for an hour,
No, I
it's
meant
like more than Botox.
the vampire.
It's a big thing. People are doing it. They're doing cold plunge facials, all these things. So I'm very old school and I just dermaplane my own face. I'm sure any woman watching this knows what dermaplaning is. I do that myself on my face and I take a French press old school coffee. It's this Italian one I got a few years back. I put it on the stove and when the steam from the coffee is almost ready, I take a little small rag and I go like this over my face and all the steam goes onto my face. It's good for your pores. And because there's caffeine in it, it helps tighten up. It's like collagen, natural collagen to the face. And I've been doing that for years. And I highly recommend it to people because think about it. When you get a facial, I had one, maybe the last one I had was like a year and a half ago. The same thing, half the facial, they're not even touching you. They're putting different cloths on you and hot and cold. And then they put steam on your face for like 10 minutes. It's just a machine you turn on and you're laying in there and there's steam. It's not anything, mind blowing. So I decided I was going to do it myself. So I love this hack. I don't do the coffee every single morning. I brew it and it lasts me about 4 days because then I take it out of the fridge and I reheat it. I'm not doing the French press every morning. It's too much work. So I would definitely recommend that to anybody as a life hack. Really, really good for your skin.
And you can see it. You're so pretty.
I mean, sometimes I took off my glasses so people can see but skin also, and I'm sure you would agree with this, genetics. You have great skin also. You have no wrinkles. I have to assume that like, genetically your family is the same.
My mom was good. Also, I started doing skincare since I'm 20. And I think that makes a big difference. And also like the eye cream I use for my lips and then use for my neck and my décolleté and
The
the top
the
of the
décolletage.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the hands. I forget the hands. I do the décolletage. I have the lines here. These are hereditary, but when I'm out in the sun, they get worse. Listen, it's important for everybody to take care of their skin, to stay hydrated, to drink a lot of water. We can't control the pollutions in the air and certain things that are in water and all these things. That's why it's really important not to drink any tap water ever, anywhere. And I don't even give it to my furry baby. He knows the difference. I try to trick him sometimes when I'm in a rush and I just put a little water in there and he looks at me like, I don't think so. I think that we should all the life hacks, the ones that are about health are really important because we want longevity. We want to stay alive as long as possible. Yes, doctors and scientists are coming up with new things all the time where people can live longer and the lifespan is longer. And in certain countries, it's better than others. Like Italy and Japan have some of the longest lifespans, but that also comes down to community and family and having less stress and being together. But if you think about the Italians, which is very interesting, nobody drinks more coffee than them. No one smokes more cigarettes than them. And no one eats more bread and pasta and drinks more red wine than the Italians. And they're living till 100 because they're happy and they're not stressed and they're with family and friends and
Yeah.
they're in a community setting.
But also kind of they drink olive oil. You mean?
Well, yeah, they put olive oil on every extra virgin olive oil on everything. That's true. And they don't have high fructose corn syrup and the other things that are in the United States. And certain parts of Italy are in the blue zone. It's such a clean place to live.
Right. And a lot of fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. I mean, it makes a difference if you eat packaged food, right? With all the preservatives and fillers and whatever, like it all goes in your body.
Even the packaging, the packaging itself, depending on how it's packaged. Absolutely. Farm to table in any scenario would be great, but it is expensive. And yes, they have all those things, but they're still drinking like fishes and smoking and drinking all their coffee. And they're so good looking. I mean, I was just in Sardinia and I'm going, God, the Italians are just so good looking. I mean, the men, especially the men are like out of this world. and they're funny. They're really funny people. And I think that humor is probably part of the reason why they have one of the longest lifespans. Another life hack: laugh as much as possible. Laugh every day of your life. The Dalai Lama said the key to life and the pursuit of happiness is literally laughter every day. Even in hard times, we turn the frown upside down and turn that into some kind of a laughter. I had someone recently tell me who's close to 100. And I said, well, what's the key to life? And you know what her response was? Don't get old.
Perhaps she meant mentally. I mean, don't
I
let
no, she
yourself
meant in
go.
general, like getting old is hard. But it's funny that at that age to still have good humor, to be like, you know, I'm still here, so just to try not to get old, but to have a healthy attitude in terms of really trying to find humor in everything that you can. I had a boyfriend once, and every time we argued, he would say like a funny joke because he would want to, he'd want to just cut it and and I'd be like, stop it. And then I'd start laughing. And, in the middle, like out of nowhere, he would just say something really funny in the middle of like an argument. So I think that a really, really good life hack is to laugh as much as possible and to enjoy humor and to incorporate it in any way that you can and to just live the best that you can to your ability. And especially for the younger generations, if there's any advice that the Chutzpah girl or Auntie Coco could give you, it is that life happens and it goes really fast. Don't rush it. I don't know about you, Daggy, but when I was in high school and college, I was like, I'm too good for school. I have to get out in the world and work. I'm gonna have all these amazing jobs. I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna be so good. And yes, I had some really incredible jobs and I did some great things so far in my life, but life is hard. It's really difficult. Don't rush. Stay young as long as you can. Go to school, stay in school, get your degree, get another degree. Don't just rush into the world because let me tell you, it is out there.
I don't know. I think life is what you make out of it. I mean,
Yeah, of course.
you can find the good things and you can find bad things. And lately, and it's not easy, but lately I'm reminded life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So no matter what you do, you can find something new, what you can learn to grow, to be a better person, better businesswoman, better employee out of it. It's just what do you look for? Do you look for the good or the bad?
Yeah. We always want to stay positive. We always want to have we want better days than not better days. But things come up in life and there are challenges and we have to accept certain things like getting older and times are changing and it's hard to keep up with all the technology today. I know you love technology and you're so good at it. I run away from it. I'm in the opposite direction. I don't want to know anything about it. Maybe that's me being naive, or part of it is like fear of wanting to learn it. But I am just like, I love being in my old school mentality with a lot of things. But I find certain technologies very important. For instance, when I go into my car and I plug the phone in and the map comes right up and I plug in the address. When I drove to California by myself from New York, what are you talking?
30 years ago?
Maps.
30 years ago?
Easy. It was probably, no, it was about 20 something years ago. And you just use the maps, you follow the signs, you call a few people, ask them, hey, am I going in the right way? Or, pull out a map. It's very different than things are today. Everything is done.
Did they have a cell phone at that point? No.
Yes, I had a cell phone. I had a cell phone 20 years ago, of course. But the cell phone is just like calling, hey, do you know where this is? Yeah, or I'll call a cousin and be like, hey, I'm in so and so now. I know you live like 3 hours from here. Am I going the right way? Or you just go into the gas station, or you go into a restaurant and you ask someone, I'm trying to get here. What's the best way to go? When you're driving across the country, you and you are literally relying on maps, which I can't read a map. If someone said, "Here's $1 million, you can only use this map. This is all you can use, and you have to get into these 3 places within a week," I'd be like, just take the money back because there's no way it's not happening. But I have a very good sense of direction in terms of like reading signs and where I'm going and following and asking people. I have no problem stopping, asking anyone. And I'll ask 3 different people 3 times just to make sure that it's the right thing. I remember driving through, this is crazy. I was in New Mexico and I just left Texas. I was in New Mexico and the weather had changed 3 different times in like an hour when I was driving on this road. First, it was hot. I had the AC on. All of a sudden, it got cold and then it started sleeting. So, what sleeting is, like the snow and the rain together, and the pellets were coming on my car. And I was like, is it like
Oh,
4 seasons here? In 1 hour of driving. I have no life hack for that. There's no, I don't have
well,
a
you made
thing
it.
for that. I made it. I'm here to tell the tale. So life hacks are great, and being as natural as possible, I love. And I love hearing your life hacks and anyone that has certain rituals that they do or ways that they can do something without using, chemicals or medications is always great. So my takeaway is keep doing the life hacks that work for you and that better you and that make you feel good. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
My takeaway is find what works for you. If one thing doesn't work, find something else what works for you. Don't give up and think nothing works for me, because that's really where the spiral is going down, right? So always spiral up and look up and find another opportunity to live a great and healthy life.
Couldn't have said it better. That's beautiful. I thank you for that, Saggy.
You're welcome.
And to my New York Knicks, who won the NBA title, I've been waiting for this since 1999. We love you. We hear you and we see you. Have a great week, everybody.
Just a quick note before we end. This conversation is for inspiration and empowerment only. It's not medical, mental health, or legal advice. We are not doctors, therapists, or lawyers. Just women sharing real stories and personal truth. Always seek professional guidance for your unique situation.